Hey guys, what's up? It's Robbie with Overworld Games, and we have our first signs of Far Cry 5 news. Plus, we are going to go into details about Far Cry 4 DLCs, including the possibility of a Blood Dragon 2, and then we've got new DLC just around the corner. We are talking about all things Far Cry.
A Mark IV cyber commando who's part man, part machine, and all-American.
So let's get straight into the Far Cry 5 news. I know you guys are extremely curious about this, and this is really cool. Ubisoft recently sent out a survey to select Uplay customers, asking all sorts of questions, trying to gauge the reaction of fans, you know, about what we want from the future of Far Cry 4. And this was about 20 minutes and went over all sorts of questions. And the first few questions were about gameplay features, and they asked, would you like to see more players in co-op? This is one thing I really want to see from the next Far Cry, is them extending the 2-player count to 4 players at least. It would be cool if they could even include more eventually in these type of games. That would be interesting if they could pull that off. And then also better co-op integration. Please let us play the entire experience with friends, including the story. So it seems like that is the direction they may be taking in Far Cry 5. And this is where it gets really cool. They go on to ask, please select your 3 most preferred settings for a future Far Cry game. And they go on to give us some awesome options. Options I really wasn't expecting. The first one being a Far Cry game in the present day on a Jurassic Park style island of dinosaurs. This is my absolute top pick, because I feel like it is lacking big time, the dinosaurs in games right now, and it can be done where it's not cheesy. I'm really surprised that no one is making a Jurassic World game, considering that that movie is just around the corner. It's coming up in summer 2015, so the Far Cry franchise could really piggyback off the success of Jurassic World and give us an amazing island, an awesome setting, some dinosaurs that we can hunt down, and then also survive. I really want to see the survival aspect come full swing in a Far Cry game. It would be so cool to basically have to hunt because you need to eat or something like that, and then also survive with fellow players. So that is my top pick from the survey. But they didn't stop there. They went on to ask, would you like to also see a Far Cry game in a futuristic sci-fi setting on another planet? And I was thinking Deus Ex or Cyberpunk 2077 with the Far Cry gameplay. Now this is something I would definitely like to see, but again, my top pick is definitely Jurassic Park. I would like to see Far Cry eventually get out of the islands, the jungle, the rural environments, and go for something that's more futuristic and dystopian with its cities. That would be a big challenge for the team. It would be very different in its art style, but I do believe it could be done in a really cool way. The other selections were a Far Cry game set in the Vietnam War during the 1960s. Think Apocalypse Now in terms of video games. You'd have that edgy villain. You'd probably be confused at what choices to choose, because there probably wouldn't be any right choice, just choices. So it would be interesting to see the Vietnam era in Far Cry eventually, but I personally think it would make better DLC, but it would be a very dark, interesting take on the Far Cry universe, which would be appropriate for Far Cry as a franchise. Then there was a Far Cry game set in a Mad Max style post-apocalyptic world. We're getting an open world Mad Max game, so I think that is very unnecessary. I would still go for the dinosaur simply because it's not oversaturated. We don't have dinos yet. We don't even have Battlefield 4 dinosaurs or anything Battlefield dino related, which is another requested feature for Battlefield as well. Then Blood Dragon 2, a sequel to Blood Dragon with more Rex Power Colts. I know a lot of you loved that. It was super cheesy. It had that 80s feel, and I would really like to see this return in particular as DLC, not a full-fledged game. So I'm hoping they do this as DLC attached to Far Cry 4. But personally, I would really like to see a survival DLC for Far Cry 4 that was teased by the creative director. He's wondering if you guys want to see a survival DLC as well. So my question is, Blood Dragon 2 or a full-blown survival DLC where you really have to survive with your friends on a brand new island or the current island. Now the other ones were a Far Cry game that is set during a zombie outbreak. I think zombies are overdone. They need to move on from that. A game set where you fight or join vampires. No, I don't think we want that for Far Cry. At least that is really low on my list, as long as they do not sparkle. That is going to be important. And then one set in the world of Shangri-La from Far Cry 4. Again, no, I think that world is way too colorful to stay in permanently, but it would be interesting to see a DLC for that down the road. Now this one is really cool, a Far Cry game in the spaghetti western style set in the late 19th century America, so the Wild West. Now I think that would be really different. Of course, if Red Dead Redemption 2, aka Red Dead 3, was really announced this year, I think that they should probably do something unique, stick to the dinosaurs, make it really, really unique and different, give us a reason to buy the game. You know, no one is offering dinosaurs, so give us that. And finally, a Far Cry game set in the cocaine trafficking jungles of Peru. I don't know much about Peru, but I know that Far Cry loves its drug references, so this makes a lot of sense for Far Cry. But let me know what you guys would like to see from the Far Cry franchise in the future. What would your pick be from this list? Again, I'm going with either the Jurassic Park style island of dinosaurs or the futuristic sci-fi setting on another planet, as long as it's not cheesy. I hope they keep the dark tone if they go for the sci-fi aspect. In fact, remember, GTA, the creators of GTA, really want to go after the sci-fi futuristic feel eventually. So I think we will be seeing a lot of that in the future, especially after the release of Star Wars Battlefront. So we've got a Far Cry 4 DLC incoming January 13th, and that's going to be very soon, and I hope to cover it right here on Open World Games, but I do expect the Dying Light coverage to intensify, so look forward to that. The new DLC is going to be called Escape from Durgish Prison, and it's going to retail for $9.99. I'm going to include a link in the description with all the details about the DLC, but there's going to be brand new single player and co-op missions, and also a brand new weapon specifically for Herc, the Harpoon Gun, and then a brand new PvP mode called Overrun, and then the big one, Valley of the Yetis. This is going to be where you have crashed, landed on an unforgiving Himalayan ridge. You must explore the frozen landscape and find tools to upgrade your camp and protect it from a dangerous cult when the night falls. Now this is really cool because it's both single player and has co-op as well, so you don't have to fight alone in the dark cave. So that's going to be a big feature. I'm wondering if it's going to have a horror element to it, so that would be very cool if that turned out to be the case. So there it is, guys, Far Cry 5 news, and then also your Far Cry 4 DLC incoming. Remember, January 13th, so if you want to check it out, be sure to stay tuned right here to Open World Games. I will cover it for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned right here to Open World Games for more Far Cry 5 news now. We're getting on to Far Cry 5 news already. And then, of course, Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Victory. We're going to be covering Dying Light soon, The Division, and so much more. And also, thank you so much for your support. We just reached 150,000 subscribers here on YouTube. We are also now on twitch.tv/openworldgamer, and of course Facebook and Twitter. You can find this all in the description below. See you guys later, and thanks for watching.